Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. 35-year-old New Jersey resident Patrick Stedman was a dating and relationship coach. And according to the prosecutor, he used his social media influencer status to encourage others to head to the Capitol on January 6th. He encouraged them to, quote, fight. And Stedman predicted that January 6th would, quote, eventually be a national holiday akin to the 4th of July. On January 6th, Stedman took a large group photo with a bunch of men who he referred to as clients, and he was seen approaching the Capitol. In a video, he was seen and heard yelling, quote, storming the Capitol, and, quote, let's fucking go. Well, just prior to entering the building, Stedman texted someone and he said, quote, we have stormed the Capitol. He then entered the Capitol. It was approximately 10 minutes after the initial breach of the Senate wing doors. And after he entered, he headed to the Capitol crypt. He was part of that huge mob that violently forced their way past the very outnumbered officers. And Stedman was heard in his video in this area. He was screaming, quote, it's our fucking house. So from there, he followed the mob upstairs. He entered the office suite of Nancy Pelosi. Remember, staff members were hiding behind locked doors. They were fearing for their lives. Sometime later, he made his way through the Capitol, and then he joined the crowd that had gathered outside the main door to the House chamber. When he arrived, the glass insets on the doors had already been shattered, and Stedman was recording himself, and he was repeatedly yelling, break it down. So these are the doors where that infamous photo was taken from the inside in the House chamber, where the officers were all pointing their guns at the doors and the Congress members were hiding behind them, like crouched down. So Stedman walked through the halls for a bit. He left that area and walked, but he was still nearby. And then he heard from others that Ashley Babbitt had been shot outside of the other House chamber door. So he headed back to the primary doors where he was, and he recorded as he was screaming at the police, quote, you're going to shoot your own people, you fucking scum. You killed one of us. You're done. So after that, Stedman headed to the rotunda. He was recording there as well as others were physically and verbally attacking the officers. And then Stedman finally left the building. He explained, though, that he only did so because he was kicked out by the police. And then he recorded a video of himself, and he admitted that he was part of the, quote, first wave. He said they, quote, broke down the doors and, quote, got all the way into the chambers. And then Stedman said, quote, fucking rats scurried under the tunnels because they were freaking out. They declared a recess. And then he blathered on about criminal behavior and treason. And then he warned, quote, if Trump doesn't take action, we're taking action. So a couple hours later, Stedman spewed out a bunch of conspiracy theories. He obviously heard from Q-loons, and he said, quote, what did we tell you these last few months? The storm is here. So Stedman was arrested on January 21st of 2021, and he was indicted on charges of obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. He refused a plea deal. He opted for a jury trial. Really, really bad move. And during his testimony, he claimed that he believed the Capitol was open to the public that day. He admitted, though, that he saw broken glass. He said he heard alarms blaring. He saw police with their guns drawn, and he admitted to seeing smoke. But he thought it was cool to enter. And this is the guy, remember, who said in these messages that they stormed the Capitol, that they, quote, broke down doors. This theme pretty much played out during his entire trial, him just kind of downplaying things. And in June of 2023, the jury convicted Stedman on all counts. So I keep saying they just need to watch the show. Anyway, based on the felony conviction for the obstruction charge, Stedman faced up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. And the prosecutor actually requested a pretty stiff sentence, considering he wasn't violent. They asked for 78 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. So U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell presided over Stedman's case, and she is a pretty tough judge. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any open source details about what was said at the sentencing hearing, but Stedman was sentenced to 4 years in prison, 3 years of probation, a $20,000 fine, and $2,000 in restitution. So I have mixed emotions about this one. You guys might be surprised to hear me say that. He has no criminal history and he wasn't violent, but he got 4 years. And yet we have oath keepers, militia members, convicted of seditious conspiracy or convicted of conspiracy to prevent the certification of the vote, and they received probation only. I mean, yes, he deserves time behind bars, but I have to say I think this one was a bit heavy-handed, considering he wasn't violent, he didn't personally vandalize anything at the Capitol, he has no criminal history. You guys know I keep it real with you, right? After covering literally hundreds of these sentences, that is my honest opinion. And I don't like how there's just no common sense being used with these sentences. I don't get it. So anyway, it is what it is at this point. So again, they should watch the show. They would know, don't go to trial. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please become a donor if possible, or leave a tip or super thanks depending on what platform you're on. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.